Hello, guys. Welcome to the show this afternoon. I got a really good conspiracy theory for you guys. And I mean, I don't know. It's only a theory of mine, but the evidence kind of points toward it being maybe right. And you got to hear this. First off, we're going to get this chart started right here. We're going to start talking about this. SHA-2, first thing. SHA-2 is a cryptographic hash function designed by the United States National Security Agency. And this is a hash function that was invented before Bitcoin, but it's what runs Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. This is the one right here, SHA-256, that Bitcoin runs on. Now, this is like the train tracks, and Bitcoin is like the train. And so, who invented the train tracks that the train's going to run on? The United States National Security Agency, the NSA. Right there. It's right there on Wikipedia. Anybody can look it up. Now, I don't believe in Satoshi Nakamoto. I think he's as real as Santa Claus. And you know how kids, you'll get one kid that'll say, hey, to the other kids, Santa Claus is not real. And the other kids say, no, come on, Santa Claus is real. We believe in Santa Claus. And they make fun of him, but he's figured it out. Well, I figured out that Satoshi Nakamoto is not real. This is something else. And I figure that whoever invented it used Satoshi Nakamoto as a tool to explain away where this thing come from. Where cryptocurrency come from. The most amazing invention of the 20th or even the 21st century. It's as big an invention as the light bulb. It's as big an invention as the automobile. It's as big as an invention probably as the wheel. It enables us to transfer money halfway around the world instantaneously with no third party attached. If people out there just do not get it, how important of an invention this is, and how this is not going to go away. It's not going to disappear. It's only going to grow because it's so much better than the money we're using now. But here's another thing about it. I hate this stuff. And I can't beat it. There's an old saying, you can't beat them, join them. I mean, I might as well hang in for the ride. It's like you're strapped into a roller coaster. And the roller coaster's just started up down the tracks. And what are you going to do? You going to jump out and fall off? Right? Or are you just going to sit in your seat and go in for the ride? That's what you're going to do. You're going to go in for the ride. And that's the way with me. I'm stuck on this ride just like all of you are, and I might as well profit from it. You guys might as well profit from it too. But let's find out what's really going on here. And, I mean, this is just conspiracy theory of mine. But anyway, I'm going to recommend a channel. Over here, we have the Money GPS, and he's got a show on this morning. IMF and Bank of International Settlements want a global currency as a solution. I'd recommend you go over there and check out his site. I check out his site all the time. It's a great site. But this gets to the heart of the problem, the whole thing. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin prices this morning. 40, 45. They've went up. So here's the thing. What if cryptocurrency is the only asset in the world that's going up when everything else is going down? What would happen? Think about that for a minute. All the rest of the financial markets are collapsing. Okay? Dow Jones is collapsing. The dollar starts to collapse. Oil prices are collapsing. The price of gold and silver are barely struggling to hold their own. No profit there. The junk bond market's collapsing. The housing market's collapsing. Everything's collapsing around you. And all of a sudden, you notice one asset class, just one asset class alone, that's moving up in price. What do you think investors would do? Think about this for a minute. Okay? But could this now, in order to make cryptocurrency go up when everything else is going down, first the first thing you would have to do, if you were some sort of force behind cryptocurrency, watching it, and it was your baby, and you were protecting it, and you were a powerful force, not letting your hand known that you're there behind the scenes, right? You're behind the scenes, and you want this thing to grow to become the world reserve currency, but you don't want anybody to let anybody know that you're behind it, right? What would you do? Well, first you get people used to it. And what's the best way to get people used to it? Pump it up. Perhaps say pump it up to $20,000. And everybody, the word gets around, hey, you can make money in Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden there's a big crash. And everybody gets discouraged. But if this force was behind the scenes manipulating Bitcoin to become the world reserve currency, they would say to themselves, okay, we knocked the price down so that we can time it exactly when everything else starts to fall. Bitcoin has to go up because Bitcoin's already went down. It's already down. What happens when somebody's already down? Well, they can't go down any further. If you punch a fighter in the mouth and he falls onto the floor, he can't go any lower. He's already down. His face is planted on the floor. Where is he going to go? There's only one way he can go, and that's up. Once he comes to, I mean, because he's already down as low as he can go. Well, knock Bitcoin right down low, and have it climbing when all the other asset classes are falling. What would happen? People might start to flood into that particular asset class, and then that would make it go up even faster. And so then the worse the crisis got, the more money would flow in. And that would exacerbate the crisis even worse, because as money flows out of everything else goes down, Bitcoin would go up. Now, it's just a theory of mine at this point. Nothing here is proven, right? But just look at the Dow Jones today. It's down 554 points. But what's Bitcoin? Bitcoin is up like the same amount. It's only a matter of time until investors start saying, hey, you know what? What in the heck's going on here? We're losing money like crazy. But if we had been invested in Bitcoin, we would have been good, or any of the cryptocurrencies, we would have done good. We're going to have to wait and see what happens here. But here's a point I want to bring out. A huge point. The Chinese, going back like to 2008, 2009, for quite a long time, they've been accumulating gold. They've accumulated probably around 22,000 tons, by my estimation. Okay? They're not reporting what they got. They're just accumulating, and then they report some silly little number. What is it? They reported that they got 1.8 thousand tons or something. A small amount they reported they have, but nothing compared to what they really have. And they're storing it all in these little 1 kilogram bars. They've had a plan. They've had a plan for quite a long time. The Chinese. And their plan is simply this. To take out America by going back to a gold standard. To take out the dollar. Will you think that the American intelligence agencies don't know about the Chinese's plan? They've got moles everywhere. They've got spies everywhere. They got cameras, and they got sensitive microphones and wiretaps and everything else. And they know what the Chinese are up to. And they've known for a long time. So then we see that the NSA invented SHA-256. What if the NSA invented Bitcoin too? I mean, Bitcoin's the train that runs on the tracks of SHA-256. What if there is no Satoshi Nakamoto? And what if Bitcoin was created to counter the Chinese plan to take over? Because Bitcoin is digital gold. Litecoin is digital silver. What if the plan is to create a digital form of gold that can outstrip the real gold, so that the Chinese's plan doesn't work? Plus, at the same time, kill two birds with one stone. Create a global currency that'll replace the dollar. So all these guys out there are thinking, oh, the government's going to take out Bitcoin. Let's turn this on its head a little bit. What if the government doesn't want to take out Bitcoin? Because what if the government created it and they want it to become the new reserve currency, and they're the ones behind it? What if? Right? It sure does seem that they haven't been mean to it yet. I mean, they haven't. They've had it within their power for the last, ever since its inception, Bitcoin's inception, to come down hard on it and crush it. I mean, when it was younger, back when it wasn't worth so much, they could have wiped it out then if they wanted to wipe it out. But for some reason, no, they didn't want. They haven't. It hasn't been wiped out. They haven't come down hard on it. In fact, it's almost like they're capitulating with it and wanting it to grow. Their stance on it is like neutral. Okay? So, what would they have to do when Bitcoin really gets large? What would happen is the government then, when Bitcoin really gets large, the banking system would start to go under because there'd be no use for banks anymore. Who needs banks when you got Bitcoin? You're your own bank. Okay? So the banks start to suffer. And now you have to ask yourself, well, the government will never let us get away with this because they won't be able to collect their taxes anymore. We're all on a Bitcoin system and it's anonymous, and oh boy, won't have to pay our taxes anymore, and the government will just be out in the cold, and ha ha ha. Right? Something they're missing. It's called government regulation of Bitcoin. Not to destroy Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies, but to regulate them. And actually, this is far simpler than you would ever think. All they have to do, they don't have to attack the exchanges. They don't have to attack Bitcoin and make it illegal. All they have to do is one simple move. Set up an area like a computer station where they have a whole bunch of computer servers and computers that would hold the entire blockchain. Government would hold the blockchain. Okay? This is all they have to do. And then make a government-issued wallet to each and every citizen. Then what they do is make all of these other wallets give you a certain amount of time to transfer your money out and into your new wallet, your new government-issued wallet. And then they would come and attack these wallet companies, these companies that are producing wallets where you can just go ahead and get any address you want. Right now, you can pick any address you want. You can have 10 addresses and Bitcoin addresses in one day. And that's hard to track. You can't, I'm not going to say it's impossible to track those, but it's harder to track. But once they make a government-issued wallet, and then they get you to apply for that government-issued wallet. In other words, you have to send them in, you can apply online. Basically, they'll want to know your address, they'll want to know your name, they'll want to know your social security number, they'll want to know your age, and everything. And once they get all of that information down, then they give you a Bitcoin address. That address is assigned to you. Right? And it works very simple like this. Once that address is assigned to you, then the government keeps that on a database. They keep the blockchain. They can see all of your transactions by entering in that wallet address. And what they do is, the software is basically the same for most all of these coins. What they do then is this very simple. They can make that one address work for all of your different coins. So that one address would work for your Bitcoin, your Litecoin, your XRP, everything, all these different coins. And they would probably select a certain amount of coins that they would put on their government-issued wallet. Now, at that point in time, all other wallets would be illegal, and they would prosecute you if you even touched a different wallet. Plus, they would seize your funds. This is all they have to do. And then from that point forward, when they do that, from that point forward, they've got it all sorted on computer. They've got it all sorted, and now you're wondering about taxes. Now they've got a tighter grip on taxes than they ever had before. Now, the way it is right now, you have to go and file your taxes. You have to do it yourself. You have to figure out how much money you made and whatever. Okay? Do you know how many people cheat on that? To be honest, right? And how much revenue the government loses on that, the way the system is structured right now. Plus, there's a huge cash black market out there right now. And the government's probably losing 20% of their income right now because of the huge black market in cash, and maybe more. Maybe they're losing even 30% of their income. Okay, a huge black market in cash, a huge black markets. People cheat on their taxes all the time. It's just constantly. And it's just a big pain in the butt too for people, because they have to try to figure out how much money they made. They might have lost receipts. You know, I mean, it happens. They might have. It's just a crazy mess. But by the time it gets sorted, the government probably loses 20 or 30%. Okay. With this new system, the government would just simply have to pop your wallet address number in to their system, and they could see all the outgoing and incoming transactions instantaneously, and all done by computer. So that the government could do your taxes for you just by entering your number in. They would instantaneously know how much you made, where you've spent it, and everything. They'd know everything about you, and they would just either send you a bill or send you a tax refund or whatever. All automatically, all automated, because you wouldn't have to do your taxes anymore. And the government would not lose 1 penny anymore. It just makes sense for the government. Totally makes sense for the government. Now, this is just a conspiracy theory of mine, you know. But I'm going to tell you what. Bitcoin is the only thing I see today on the markets that's relatively stable, and it's actually going up in price. This is an amazing new invention, and I mean, I've talked enough about this conspiracy theory now. Let's wait and see what plays out, you know. But here's the thing. Eventually, I know for an absolute certainty. Now, we're talking about something completely, entirely different now. I know for an absolute certainty that cryptocurrency, within probably the next 5 years, is going to win out against fiat currencies. You can already see the seeds of this beginning. The cryptocurrencies are positioning themselves. Each one does a little bit different job within the ecosystem. You already see the way it's lining up. Bitcoin is probably going to retain its position as the top coin, and it's getting more scalable all the time. The Lightning Network is making it far more scalable. It's capable of 7 transactions per second on the main blockchain. But billions of transactions can be done on the Lightning Network, and then send 1 transaction to the blockchain for verification. So they could do transactions all day long, say across the United States of America. Back and forth, sending money this way and every which way. Buying cups of coffee and everything with just a few Satoshis. You might get down to the point where you can buy a cup of coffee with 1 Satoshi on the Lightning Network. Okay? All those transactions are done every day, all over the United States of America. And at nighttime, 1 single transaction goes into the blockchain. So that 7 transactions a second, once you get the Lightning Network established, is more than enough to cover the entire world, and that's just 1 cryptocurrency. In fact, if you wanted to take 1 Bitcoin and expand out the decimal point, it expands out to infinity. 1 Bitcoin could absorb all of the world's wealth and all of the world's everything. So when you consider these facts, we see how many different cryptocurrencies there are. This has all positioned itself to accept all of the value of the entire world. And being as it functions so much better, so much smoother than anything we have now. It makes what we have now look as antiquated as these old lanterns that they used to use back in the 1800s compared to the modern day light bulb. Why on earth would we stay with the old traditional system? Yes, the old traditional system does work. And yes, those lanterns did work to light people's homes. And in fact, I think some 30 years, or something like 20 or 30 years after they invented the light bulb, they were still roughing into new homes in the New England area, gas pipes to run the lanterns. When new technology comes in, there's an adoption curve, which takes time. With Bitcoin, we're getting far along into that adoption curve, or adoption phase, much further along than most people would ever think. If you think that that $20,000 mountain that Bitcoin climbed was really something, then you're not, and you think that was the end, Bitcoin really hasn't went anywhere yet compared to what it could do if it becomes the world reserve currency for real. And all of the world's value is put into 21 million little coins. Okay? I would say, by my estimation, if that were to happen, we could see 1,000 times your money invested, what money you got invested. So, like I say, that yesterday, or the other day, I was behind a woman in the grocery store. She's buying lottery tickets, and she probably spends $100 a month on the lottery. Never win the darn thing. Go your whole lifetime, you never win it. You're always hoping. You're always dreaming of what you're going to have, you know, like, oh, when I win this, I'm going to have a new car, and I'm going to have a this or that or whatever, you know, but you never win it. You never win it. This, cryptocurrencies, if I'm correct about it becoming the new world reserve currency, the little bit of money you invest now in this could actually turn out in the end to be winning the lottery, because it could go up 1,000 times your investment. So, I mean, $100 could turn into 100,000. But by the time Bitcoin is the world reserve currency, you're not going to be thinking like you do now. Now you're thinking, oh, it's worth $100,000. No, it's going to be worth Bitcoin. But that Bitcoin is going to have the buying power of $100,000. So your $100 investment now, that Bitcoin will have the buying power of $100,000, what you would buy with $100,000 now. There might be a day coming in the future when you can actually buy a new home for 0.01 Bitcoin. Sort of a deal. If Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency. And I don't see anything else setting itself up and positioning itself to become the world reserve currency. And we know the dollar is sitting on a precarious perch right now. The Chinese, they got their plan, their gold plan. Remember I told you about that before? They want to make a gold-backed yuan. Don't you think for 1 second that they haven't thought of that, and that that's not in the works. A gold-backed yuan. This is what the Chinese call it their manifest destiny. They want to take over the whole South China Sea. They want to spread the Chinese empire worldwide, and they want to have the American empire in poverty, so that we're impoverished to them. Oh, but that plan was going along so good under Obama, and then all of a sudden, in walks somebody new. He is really messing up an awful lot of plans in the world. You know that? He's messing them up. He's like a wrecking ball to the globalists' plans and their agendas. Honest to goodness, I have to laugh, you know. Anyway, listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.